overcoming poverty, burning off stress, paying attention with ADHD, building a career, beating a painful genetic disorder. After 13 years of helping others do the same, fitness became a foundation for my life's greatest gift and challenge, becoming a father. My name's Alex Van Houten, and I believe that what I eat, how I move, and what habits I live by are the rock upon which I build my physical, psychological, and spiritual well-being, and whatever I do will rub off on my kids and my community. Welcome to Defining Dad Bod, where we work to untangle the messy knots of the health and fitness industry as if your children's lives depended on it. Because they do. This is where we decide to make our bodies stand for something bigger than ourselves. This is where we find practical wisdom to live by, one powerful conversation at a time. May the words spoken here inspire you to keep moving forward no matter where you are. Who knows who you could be if you could become 1% better every single day.
We can do the show thanks to the support of listeners just like you. For more information how you can become part of the inner circle, go to findingdadbod.com/inner circle. That's findingdadbod.com/inner circle.
What is up, guys? This is Alex Van Houten with Defining Dad Bod. I hope you're doing super well. Today's show is a very special show for two reasons. One reason being, today's show is a transformation story with a female client of mine. And if you've been following my work with Defining Dad Bod for a while, you know that I don't have female transformation stories on here very often. Not for any discriminatory reasons, mostly because the name of the show is Defining Dad Bod. And in fact, the majority of my clients in my training career have been women. But today's show will be a unique perspective on the defining mom bod experience, which is to say, overcoming the mental and physical challenges of being a mom who's working on her own health and fitness. So today I'm looking forward to a powerful change in perspective. And I encourage the guys listening to this show to spend a bit of time thinking about the special someone in your life and the perspective of her struggles in achieving good health and fitness for herself. The second reason this show is special to me, not only has this client lost a significant amount of weight being my client in the last 8 months, but this client is also my sister. In the 30 years that I've been on this earth, most of my family has known me as the crazy health and fitness guy. When I visit for the holidays, people know that I get up early and go for runs. I generally push a healthy eating agenda, and I'm often giving advices about aches and pains and different things that people are struggling with that I believe health and fitness could help rectify. That's nothing new to you guys, and it's nothing new to my clients. But for many members of my family, my help with exercise and nutrition doesn't even occur to them when they're wrestling with something. Oh, that's just Alex. He's always active. So today I hope you'll enjoy the conversation between my sister and I, as she's a member of my family who, when she was ready to change things for herself and her son and take on her own responsibility in health and fitness, she asked me to be in her corner. And while I've trained a lot of people and had many very rewarding relationships with my clients over the years, this one has been particularly special to me. Thanks for catching the show. And if you find our work impactful here, please stop by Facebook and iTunes, leave us a raving review, and consider joining our online tribe at definingdadbod.com/inner circle. Now let's get to defining mom bod. What's up, guys? This is Alex Van Houten with Defining Dad Bod. I am beyond excited today, and it's not because I've had lots of coffee, because I've only had 1.5 cups, but I am joined by probably one of the more special guests I've ever had on the show. She has a PhD in being my sister, which is quite the educational experience, I'm sure. She's going to tell all kinds of dirt on me and stuff. No, I'm kidding. My sister, Jessie. How are you, Jess?
I'm doing fantastic this morning, probably because I've started my cup of coffee and it's much bigger than yours.
Hey, it's not the size that matters. It's how much caffeine is in the coffee. Wow, I didn't know we'd get so close into the interview before some kind of genitalia jokes. So I have her on the show today, guys, because Jessie is not only my sister, but she has a transformation story that I'm just really excited to bring to you guys today. I'm not going to tell it. She's going to tell it, obviously. But I also have the distinct honor of being her trainer in addition to being her brother. And it means a lot to me because I've been training people for 13 years. And it's weird. You come home to like holiday events and stuff like that, and people in my house, Jesse, you can echo this. You can tell me what you think about this, but I'll come home and people see me as the weird, crazy guy who works out. And they're like, oh no, Alex won't eat that. Or, oh no, like don't have that around Alex. He's going to judge you. Or, oh, that weirdo got up at 6 a.m. and went for a run, or he has a bedtime. Anyway, it's very weird to come home and be the weird, crazy guy who works out. But through working with you, Jess, it's just been so cool. I'm not alone in our family anymore, so thanks for that. So I appreciate you jumping on to share your story because I know it's a big one. Before we get started, do you have any dirt on me that you want everybody to know? You're a really nice person, so I'm hoping it's not too bad. But
I have some dirt on you. Don't feed my brother cookies because that is his ultimate weakness.
It's so true.
He can't cook them because he will burn them, but he will eat them like nothing else.
Amen. If Kristen makes cookies, they last exactly 2 days in our house. And like, doesn't matter if it's like 20 or 40 or.
You're like, I'm going to eat them. But yeah, only dirt I have on you.
Okay. Yeah. I'm sure something else will come out soon. Apparently you have a bigger coffee cup than I do. All right. So first, I want to talk a little bit about where you started in your transformation story, something that makes your transformation story unique outside of me being able to train you. Because a lot of trainers would tell you they can't train their family. One, the family doesn't want to listen to them. You know, hey, do this, do that. You're like, oh, yeah, that sounds good. Maybe I should. And then you don't. It's kind of like being a parent. You tell your kids something and like it like bounces off their head. And then somebody else says it and they're like, oh, that makes a lot of sense. Hey, did you know this? And you're like, dude, I've been telling you that for a while. Come on, man. So anyway, that's what it feels like sometimes trying to help family members with health and fitness. So I'm really excited about that aspect of your story, but I'm also excited. You did this really fast. How much weight did you lose?
Okay, since I started being super consistent December 28th or 29th, because my Planet Fitness was a gift. But since December, I've lost like 40 something pounds. But if you go back to last year, exactly, I was about 55, 60 pounds heavier than I am now.
Gotcha. So we'll safe to say about 55, 60 pound weight loss. And show me your guns. Show me your gun. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. It's you didn't lose a lot of muscle. In fact, you probably gained quite a bit of muscle. Look at that, man. Nicely done, chick. So I guess I should be wiping the dirt off my shoulder.
Yeah. Or like our nicely defined shoulders that we worked hard for. Just wipe off. Yeah, so, I did that.
So not only is this interesting because we're family members, but also like you lost a significant amount of fat, gained muscle, and felt more energy, kind of climbed out of depression. There's a bunch of things with regard to your story, but you did it sustainably, and you did it in my world, a relatively short period of time. I mean, 1 year, 1.5 years, that's a short period of time compared to some people when they're trying to lose, I don't know, half an eighth grader. That usually takes a very long time, especially if you're not crash dieting. Like there wasn't a time in here where we were like, hey, don't eat food and run a lot. Like we never got there, So let's talk about where you started. Okay. So paint the picture for us. I know it was rough. I know you were dealing with some postpartum depression and stuff. Just give us an idea of where you were in life.
So painting the picture and everything, during my pregnancy, I gained a lot of weight. And it wasn't just like in my stomach. It was like my arms, heavily in my face. And it affected me. And I thought, breastfeeding, you would shred the weight so easily because that was the myth that everybody said. But it wasn't like that for me. I gave birth. I was pretty big, so I was just like, okay, it'll come off. And it wasn't. I stuck with breastfeeding for, I'm down to once a week, but it's been 2.5 years I've been breastfeeding, which is not easy. But like throughout like the weight and everything, like after having my kid, and I started being more active when after the time that they say you can start working out and stuff. So I started running a little bit here and there, but I wasn't consistent. And that really affected me because I got down. I was like, "Shit, I'm not losing weight. I'm still like, I don't want to get out of bed. I don't want to move." When your kid's a baby, you don't have to worry about chasing after them. But when he turned 2 and he just wanted to be outside constantly and everything, it was right before he turned 2, I decided to try to go for the police force. I had my PT test, and granted, I was 60 pounds heavier when I tried to run this 1.5 miles in 14 minutes and 37 seconds, I think is the time. I was like a minute off. I got home that day, I looked at myself in the mirror, and I was like, that was another low point for me. Like after, because I still battled through like depression and everything. I know everybody does. But that was really low because I was just like, I was so close to something and I didn't achieve it. And then 2 months after that, or was it 2 or 3 months after that, my husband had got me a Planet Fitness membership. And he's like, being supportive. He's like, "You want to work out? Here you go." And so my awesome big brother, I had talked to him about wanting to start working out again. I didn't know where to start. And you were awesome enough to start writing me workout stuff. And that right there, like just the wanting to be active, Aaron had just started running more and wanted to be more active. All of that combined made me have that spark, that fire. I was like, I need to do this, not just for me, but for my son. After I've stuck to these workouts and everything, it's become part of my routine. Like when you fight depression and you just want to lay up in bed all day and you don't have that motivation to do anything, I sit there, like I'll wake up first thing in the morning and I'm like, I don't want to do anything. But then I'm like, I have my list of workouts because it's listed and what order I need to do. Like I do that. I wake up at 5:30, 6 o'clock every morning. So I will wake up, I'll look at my workouts, I'll see what I need to do. And then I'm like, okay, this is the first thing I'm going to work out. I'll come home, eat breakfast. I'm up before my son wakes up. So then I'll make breakfast. And by the time he gets up, I have everything done. And I got my coffee in me. I got my caffeine because God knows as parents, we need to survive on that. That's the whole, it kickstarted everything. The whole getting into the routine of everything has made it so much more easier because you had told me it takes 30 days to get into a habit. And after, I think it is maybe a little bit longer than 30 days, but I had created that habit and now I can't really live without it. And it's become a huge part of my life and I really enjoy it.
Well, awesome. I want to dive into some pieces of where you were because there's a bunch to that. I normally have guys on the show here to talk about where they've been transformation wise. As you know, I'm pretty passionate about the whole testosterone dropping when a newborn enters the world and stuff. But the female journey, a lot of my listeners have heard this from me before. Most of my career prior to becoming a father, most of my career, I trained women. And there are stages in the having a baby process. People talk about it. Like there's books on this sort of stuff, like what to expect when you're expecting. I swear to God, those books don't cover 90% of the stuff.
Normally like go over like the good stuff. So you don't expect all the crap that happens during pregnancy, after it. Like they paint this beautiful picture of pregnancy. And granted, it is amazing. Pregnancy, it's great. What is the most miserable time of your life? Like you're growing a child, you're constantly tired. My cravings, all I ate, this is really bad. All I ate during my pregnancy was sugar and pizza rolls. So Swiss cake rolls, I would eat a whole box in one day. And I cannot tell you how many of those boxes I went through during my pregnancy. So Swiss cake I'm ashamed of that.
Swiss cake rolls and pizza rolls? Is that
Yeah, it's the only thing I could keep down. That, and I like drank a lot of soda, which I'm not proud of that either. But
well, so there's a couple things going on when you're pregnant, right? So one of the things is your hormonal system changes significantly, such that there are some severe, I don't know if you could call them digestive issues, but Kristen experienced this. Not every woman does, but the first, especially 12, maybe 20 weeks of pregnancy, there's like a weird nausea that it's not accompanied with any foods. I don't know if I've told you this story before, but so Kristen was pregnant with Gabriel, and she's a dietitian and I'm a master trainer. Okay. So she's pregnant with Gabriel. She's nauseous every time she eats. And she basically, for, I want to say 3 weeks, was subsisting on a steady diet of oatmeal and baked potatoes, basically. And I'm like, this woman needs protein. Like, she has my future, I didn't know he's my son at the time, but if he was a son, it's like my strapping young man in her. Like, the kid needs protein. Like, you can't deprive. Women shall not subsist on baked potato alone, right? So I thought I was being a supportive husband. I got her a baked potato, and I put some shredded pork on top. And I put all the good stuff, like grass-fed butter. I even had some barbecue on there because I was like, that'd be good, I chopped some onions, and she's sweet. She ate it for me.
Oh,
she didn't want it. She's like, but you went through all this, so I'll eat your protein baked potato. That is one of 2 times that she threw up in her pregnancy because I had to feed her some kind of what I'm trying to say here is, like, it's not just like I know what to eat and what's good for me. We basically have no idea how to feed a pregnant woman. Like, in our world today, we don't know. We're like, these would probably be good for you, but each pregnant woman's like cravings and what do you call them? Aversions. There we go. Their cravings, aversions, they're all different. So it's like, find what works for you and don't starve. And so you're like, hey man, Dr. Pepper, Swiss cake rolls, and pizza rolls. That works. I'll just eat that.
It freaking sucks though, because like you either eat or you don't, and you starve.
Right. Well, you can't starve because you have a baby in you. Of all the times one should not fast. So, and then you do that, and then most pregnant women also experience, there's a change in progesterone and estradiol, there's a change in prolactin, and there's a change in insulin. Basically, the biological systems like store all of the fat you can in preparation for breastfeeding and possible famine. That's kind of the evolutionary argument. So not only are you not eating like you probably should to be healthy because of aversions and cravings, and let's face it, well, I don't know. You can only explore kale so much before you're like, nah, not when I'm pregnant. Nope. So you do all that, and then, well, it's not like you're burning it all. Like, you're storing it up. So how much did you weigh before you were pregnant, if you don't mind sharing with everybody?
I think I was 135. So I was pretty skinny.
And then you had the baby. Was that the end of the pizza roll and Swiss cake diet, or did?
Yeah. After I had Aaron, granted, my diet wasn't like the best after having him. Let's see. I stopped drinking soda the first 2 weeks after having him, because this is a lot of information, but when you tear and then you drink some very highly acidic stuff, it burns.
Bad day for you.
So I stopped drinking soda and I solely stuck to water, and that helped. And then after that, after staying away from soda, I got lucky. Like, I kind of lost a craving for like sugar. Like, yeah, I would eat it sometimes, but I was like, I don't want it. You did, I think it was a podcast on like how addictive it can be, and how it affects your brain patterning, and how you could get addicted to drugs too. So like, I feel like after avoiding highly concentrated sugar stuff, because a can of soda, Coca-Cola, Dr. Pepper, Mountain Dew has 38 grams of sugar in it or more for one can. That's a lot. So, because I think your daily limit, you told me, was 40. So when you take out just one can of soda, and then you kind of started watching what I ate probably 6-7 months ago, when you told me that, I started eating, because I didn't really think bread and pasta. I'm like, oh, it's not cake. Or like the yogurt, Greek yogurt and stuff, like it still has a little bit of sugar in it, but you didn't think about how much it has. So I started like slowly changing from like white bread to like wheat bread. And when I do have yogurt, it's not the pre-mixed yogurt that you buy at the store. I'll add some fruit to it, whatever. But when you slowly make those changes, like your body like gets used to not having sugar. And now when I try to have some cake or something, I get a headache. Like, I don't know about you, but I really can't do a whole lot of sugar. I don't have a cookie weakness like you, but I'll have a cookie sometimes. Honestly, it just doesn't even sound good to me. So I got lucky with all of that. I don't know if it's just slowly changing in my habits and everything and my body getting used to it, but it really helped.
You're not alone in that. A lot of people report. So there's a couple of things I'd like to say about sugar here, especially because it gets a pretty bad rap in the sense that there are studies in the world that link it to some sort of addictive behavior. And it turns out that some people are more prone to that than others. And it matters like how it works. Like you're not addicted to, it's not like you need the white grains of sugar and there they are. And you're just like eating it out of the canister with the, I don't know, spoon or whatever, snorting it in the bathroom. Like it's not like that. It's when it's paired with certain pairings like savory, like butter and some of the umami textures with some of your baked goods and stuff. It's like Swiss cake rolls are addictive, table sugar isn't, like that kind of thing. And it's not true for everybody. That's why the studies are very varied. So what you find is when you help people to start counting their sugar and start to limit it, their brain and their taste buds start talking to each other, and your threshold for how sweet something is changes. So when you're eating a lot of sugar, an apple doesn't taste very sweet. It's like cardboard comparatively. It's like, how's your apple? It's like a crunchy piece of cardboard. Thanks. When you're consuming 80, 120 grams of sugar and stuff. And this happens a lot with kiddos as well. It's like, I don't know, sugar on your strawberries. Like strawberry already has sugar in it. It's very, very sweet fruit. Like, why do you need to dip it in sugar? Well, because way sweeter and my threshold for sweet is really high. But when you start limiting that, what happens is you start to retrain your taste buds, and things that used to be moderately sweet to you become extremely sweet to you. And the same could be said of things like artificial sweeteners and stuff that sometimes are hundreds, if not thousands of times sweeter than sugar. So all that to say, you limited sugar and you notice that there was a significant decrease, not only in your cravings, but also in when you actually did consume it, you're like, yeah, I could have a couple bites and I'm good. Now, one of the things that a lot of people don't know, though, is in the programs that I write for people, we start with a really low sugar threshold as you get more insulin sensitive and body composition changes. So you lose fat and you gain muscle and you get more fit, and now you're jumping on boxes and swinging kettlebells and stuff, and that's great. You become a conditioned person, which you are now, and we're going to talk about that. You become a conditioned person, which means that your threshold for sugar actually goes up. That means that if you would like to have more sugar, not all bunch, not all the time, but if you'd like to have more sugar, your body can handle it pretty well. It's actually going to respond to it. You're going to use it for energy and stuff. And so that's why I can have a cookie problem. And by my cookie problem, I mean I can.
Yeah. Well, that's what I don't like about, sorry to interrupt, but like when people want to go on the keto diet, I'm like, your body's eventually going to need those carbs back. Like if you're going to be exercising too, your body needs those carbs, which have sugar, to use for energy, because then you're going to crash and then you're also going to gain that weight back. So it's just like, that's one of my pet peeves is when people go on a keto diet or something like that. And they're like, I got to eliminate carbs. I got to eliminate sugar completely. And I'm like, okay, but like your body kind of needs that for energy to sustain you through the day. So if I do have sugar, honestly, I save it for like I'll have breakfast. I'll either do a little bit before lunch or a little bit after lunch, but I will not, like, I kind of time it right so my body uses that for energy, instead of like if I happen to want dessert after dinner, I might have a little bit of something, but like I really won't go overboard like I used to. Like if I want a bowl of ice cream, I will not make I used to eat a whole half of a container, and like your body's just gonna store that up as fat. Like,
yeah, you're just going to sleep, man. Like,
yeah,
not going anywhere. Yeah, you mentioned the keto diet. That's a big craze right now. A lot of people are testing it and stuff. And I've had some experts on the show, and we've talked through ketogenic diets and whatnot, some of the ins and outs of them and what they are and what they aren't and all that. But largely the concept of becoming conditioned so that you can use carbohydrates if you're going to be consuming them and it doesn't stick around on your body, that's something that you won't get on a ketogenic diet. Even if you become conditioned and you can grow muscle and everything's working well for you, that doesn't mean when you start eating carbohydrates again, if you do, that your body's tolerance for carbohydrates are also going to go up. as well. And so for many people, ketogenic lifestyle or ketogenic diet can be pretty powerful as long as that's what they plan to do for a long time. Or if they cycle off of it, that they're going to still observe healthy, nutritious food choices and whatnot that are relatively low in simple carbohydrates. So I want to bring the conversation to your run, that fateful, what was it, 1.5 miles?
Yeah.
You mentioned you were running after having Aaron, and you were kind of off and on inconsistent. I remember, so I wasn't pregnant, obviously, for a number of reasons, but I wasn't pregnant, didn't have a kid. But I remember I hurt my back in junior year of college, and I refused to stop exercising. But there were a lot of things I couldn't do. I used to run a lot. I trained for marathons and stuff and played ultimate frisbee all the time and whatnot. So I probably weighed 150-ish. Wasn't really heavy, 150-ish. And I was a ripped 150, like 4 to 6% body fat all the time. And then I got hurt. And so I just couldn't run. Like, it hurt to walk. It hurt to bend over. So I learned that there were a bunch of different things I could do weightlifting wise that I could keep my back stationary and do them. So I was like, I'm just going to get as big as I can, because I'm a 22-year-old dude and I can do that. So I did that, and I went from 150 to 178. I was 178 pounds. And I'll never forget, I moved to Waco, Texas following college, and I went for a run. It was a 3-miler. I was like, 3 miles around the campus. That would be kind of cool, right? Dude, I have never felt more out of shape in my entire life. And dude, I had guns. Like, I had guns for days. My back looked awesome. I was thick and muscular. I could probably step on a physique competition stage and actually do pretty well, without even having to diet down. I looked great. But I went for a run, and I'll never forget the feeling, because I used to be able to run. It would be like the wind. I was like a gazelle, like a cheetah, I run forever. Oh, you want to race me? Let's go. And then I went for this run, and every step I felt like a giant Clydesdale horse, like boom, 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 like there was a big giant pack on my back. And I didn't realize that adding 20, 25 pounds of muscle and a little bit of fat in there, if you gain 20 pounds of muscle, you're still 6 to 8% body fat, you're still going to gain a little bit of fat in there. But you add 20, 25 pounds to you, every step is way heavier. So you went for a run after being pregnant, being used to your old self, right?
Yep.
How did that go? I mean, because that's a very different feeling.
When I first started running after having Aaron, I ended up walking a couple times. When you have a baby, you don't just lose all that weight like some people might think you do. So let's see, I got up to 201 after having Aaron. Then after having him, even though he was 8 pounds, 12 ounces, when they weighed me in the hospital, I was like 190, 185 or something like that. I think the highest I got back up to was 198. But all that weight I was carrying with me. And I got to the point where it wasn't even really a run. It was like a slow jog. But I was like, I don't want to just walk. It was hard. I was out of breath. I got so red in the face the first freaking 4 steps I took. And I'm not gonna lie, that really gets to you. When you want to get in shape, you want to walk without being out of breath, or you want to put on your shoes without losing your breath and stuff like that. So it was really hard to deal with that and actually knowing how out of shape you are, because you're just like, oh, I did not realize. It just all kind of hit me at once. So I had a wave of I don't even know how to say it, just the whole being so clueless about what you're doing to your body and not taking care of yourself, because that was a big thing I just didn't do. I didn't take care of my body like I should have. And
then that hits you in the face. Plus you're a mom. So you're getting hit in the face by everything, including poop and pee. So dang it. And then you're not sleeping. A lot of females don't know this, but your brain actually shrinks 10% during pregnancy, and then thereafter breastfeeding. Not to say you get dumber, but your body literally, because of the sleep deprivation, because of the immense amount of resources going to the baby and going through the breastfeeding channels and stuff, your body's like, well, what do we got around here that burns a lot of energy? Well, your brain actually, your resting metabolism, a lot of people don't know this either. Your resting metabolism about 70% of your resting metabolism is just your brain activity. So one of the ways your body handles that is slashes that. You don't need that 10% of your brain. Are you doing math? Nope. You wake up, you go to bed. You wake up, you go to bed. Feed your baby. Try to go for a run. Good luck with that. Anyway, so the point is you're very much less equipped from a mental perspective to even try to sift through all that stuff. And when you just said that, when you were like, I don't know, all of that just hit me in the face and I was so confused. That's exactly what new moms or even moms who've had a couple kids do. So you have one kiddo.
Mm-hmm.
Some moms at this point are on to their next one. And for many moms, you know, and I don't say this from experience, obviously. I say this from the perspective of a coach who's worked with moms. It's 3 kids later, 4 kids later. They're like, I don't even know who I am right now.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't even, because this goes on for like 5, 6, 7 years before you're out of the stage of young childhood where you can actually look at yourself and go, okay, now what do I do with me? And a lot of them do exactly what you did. Hey, I was running before my kids, so maybe I'll try to run. And then it's just really depressing when you try to run. It does not work out the way it used to.
Yeah.
So you tried to run, and then you took a police physical fitness test?
Yeah, that physical fitness test, which I did not pass. And so I just, I worked at a car dealership for a little bit, and then I had surgery. And then after that, so like, I want to say after that PT test, I'm the type of person that gets discouraged easily. So I stopped working out. I was like, okay, well, that didn't work out. I'm just going to focus on my son and stuff. And yeah, sure, I kind of focused on what I ate a little bit and made sure I tried to eat a little bit healthy. But then the end of January, I started working at a factory. And that was really hard because I worked is the weekend shift. I worked 3 12-hour shifts and I had 4 days off, which was great. But like those 12 hours were killer. I was constant, like I only had, my lunch break was a 30-minute break. And then I had 2 20-minute breaks.
And you were logging like 20, 30,000 steps a day, right?
I mean, I kind of miss all those steps because my Fitbit was like, oh, congratulations. That's Fitbit. Like, I was like, yeah.
I see you. I see the steps you're getting in a day.
Starting out like that was also kind of a push for me to get like fit because I would sit down on my breaks and my feet and my body hurt so bad. I was in tears. Then a little bit after my body started kind of getting used to it, my feet still hurt and stuff. Well, my work had a ping pong table. I learned how to play ping pong at work, and that's what I started doing on my breaks. And it's like I would scarf down my food in 5 minutes, and I was like, all right, guys, ping pong, let's do this. And I mean, that was a workout to me, especially like in the middle of work.
I remember you visited and you're like, hey, do you guys have a ping pong table around here? I'd love to play you ping pong.
I haven't even made sense.
Who are you? And then you, because I didn't know of this ping pong fascination. And then you're like, oh, I brought my paddles and everything. Here's a sign. You don't want to play ping pong with somebody? They have their own dang paddle. Like they've gone through the trouble of finding the perfectly balanced paddle. Oh man, I still haven't played you. You're gonna crush me.
I don't know. I haven't played in 3 months now. So
yeah. Famous last words before somebody roosts you in ping pong. Hey, I'm a little rusty, guys. You know, no biggie. You know, we'll just do a couple practice rounds, and then I can just see me like eating your ping pong balls. Like,
I had some deadly swings. Oh my gosh,
I have some deadly swings
out of nowhere. But yeah, after playing ping pong and stuff and consistently like moving, I noticed after that, instead of like sitting down on my breaks at work, and then after playing ping pong and staying active throughout that whole 12 hours, I would go home for that 4 days for my break from work and stuff. And I didn't want to sit on my butt at home. I was like, okay, I want to get moving. Like sitting down sucks right now. I feel like I'm being lazy. And then that's when I also had the money to buy a Fitbit, and I set my goal to 10,000 steps a day. And then I worked for that. And then like, it just was all coming together. Like I worked out and I was being consistent. I was getting proud of myself. I actually didn't step on a...
Sorry to interrupt. I want to hear that. But I've done some very strange things for my own Fitbit goal.
Mhm.
And I was curious, what's the weirdest thing you've ever done or weirdest time of day you've done the thing in order to get your 10,000 steps?
You want to know?
Yeah, I do. Because I've done some strange things.
I was at like 7,000 steps. I can't remember what day of the week it was, but I had sometimes went to Electric Cowboy to like learn how to line dance and stuff. So I was like, I'm at like 7,000 steps. I'm going to go dance. And so I would go dancing and I ended up going home. Let's see, it opens at 8. And then I would only be there for like an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours. And then I end up with 15,000 steps. And I'm like, yeah. And I'm like, I can go home now. Like I would literally just go to the bar to dance and then go home. I'm like, I got my steps. So what now, dude?
That's awesome. So word to the ladies out there, if you're short on steps, you have to make the commitment that you're not going to mess up your steps with a bunch of drinks. You go,
exactly.
You do your steps, and then you piece out of there and return.
Do you know how weird it's going to the bar, just drinking water and dancing? So every time I went up, I would go to the same bartender. I'll be like, can I have some water, please? Can I have some water, please? And they're like, you don't want any alcohol? I'm like, no, I'm just here for my steps.
For my steps.
They're like, okay. You're like, that's the first thing I've ever heard. That I was just like, sorry.
Well, so you're starting to earn the place at the table as the weird fitness person in the house now. Just so you know, that's something a weird fitness person does.
I got to keep up with you, okay?
So Kristen, as you know, is a very healthy individual. However, she still gets annoyed at me because wherever we go, I'm always parking like in the back of the parking lot. So I'll make a turn and she'll go, how about princess parking today? Which means, hey, dude, I just saw a really close parking spot. And I'll be like, oh, we need steps. And she's like, oh my God.
I'm glad you said that because this is another weird thing I did for steps. Like me and my friend, he's a little heavier set dude. I had some coins to cash out Walmart. I was going to treat everybody to dinner. So I was like, okay, do you want to go with me to cash the money? And then we'll meet everybody back at the house for dinner and stuff. We went to Walmart. I literally parked the farthest away. Like it's not even at the end of the parking lot. It's like to the side.
It's like where weird people park their campers, right? Like,
yeah. He's like, why are you parking all the way over here? I was like, we gotta get our steps in. He's just like, oh my gosh. And then it's just the funny part. We're leaving Walmart after we cash the money, which I'm proud to say I had like $50 worth of quarters and stuff. That was awesome. We run into a friend. I guess she had just gotten off of work and she was riding one of the cart things. Nothing's wrong with her. She just wanted to ride the cart through Walmart and stuff. And as we chat with her, we're leaving Walmart, we're walking to the car. He's like, Jessie, I just want to point out that there's you parking at the end of the Walmart parking lot, and then there's her riding the cart through Walmart. I was like, well, I don't even know what to say to that. I'm just going to be that crazy fitness person, I guess.
Lifestyle choices.
Yep.
So
what you thinking, though?
Right. Yeah. So true. So I want to talk about this actual program because I made you go through the same process that I would have any prospective client go through. And so there's a 1-week trial process where I actually asked you to write down, and I said, hey, I want you to spend some real time on this. What does your health and fitness heaven look like? What does your health and fitness hell look like? And when was the last time you were happy with your health and fitness, and what's happened since then? And so there's that exercise of, no pun intended, of going through in your own head what the worst case scenario, what the best case scenario looks like, and to be real and truthful with yourself about how you got to this point. And you did a beautiful job of that. That's part of my process. Sorry, go ahead.
I want to point out that, like, I honestly, that first time, because you got to tell these people that I had to write this stuff down twice, because the first time I wasn't being completely honest, and then I was a little goofy, and you're like, okay, Jessie, take this seriously, redo it. And I was like, okay. So like,
that's so true. So I tell people I offer a free week to anybody who's interested in coaching. But what they don't know is that if somebody fills this form out and I read it and I'm like, nope, it's not deep enough, sorry, you haven't thought enough about your health and fitness heaven. You haven't thought about your health and fitness hell. You're not being real with how you got to this point that you're reaching out to me for help. I can't help you until you spend more time on this. I tell people that. I legitimately say, I'm not giving you a free week of coaching until you take this seriously. Because if you don't, and it's not to call anybody out, it's not to say, you know, hey, you're stupid, your answers are dumb. It's to say, look, I can't help you if you're not in the space to motivate the changes that need to be made here. Because I can show you the way. I say this a lot. Like, people have in my career spent thousands of dollars on personal training and not made any changes whatsoever. They'll come work out and they'll do their thing. I had a lady show up drunk once to a workout.
Oh, wow.
Oh yeah, Saturday morning, 8 a.m., comes in with her hoop earrings still in. And she's like, so it's been a long night, but I'm here. And I'm like, I'm not training you like this.
Injured and messed your body up.
Like, you spent $90 on this session and I'm not training you. Sorry, take it up with my boss. Anyway, I've had people invest in training, but it's not a magic wand, you know. Yeah. I guide you, I keep you accountable, I make sure your program's scientific, I help you get the most bang for your buck out of the time that you spend. You know, like, your workouts are not 3 hours long. You're spending between 45 minutes and an hour and a half in the gym. And you get amazing results with that because your program's intelligent. And not everybody's doing that. But the point is, I can't work out for you. I can't count sugar for you. I can't make you go to bed on time or park in the back of the parking lot to get your steps in, right? Like, if you're not in that headspace, then I can't help you. And as a trainer, there's been nothing more frustrating to me than being related to people who I can help if they were in the right headspace. So anyway, I wanted to take this second to cry a sports tear with you and to say thank you so much for taking that very seriously, because I wouldn't have taken you seriously if you didn't actually sit down and do that piece. So you did that. And then you were like, oh God, what have I gotten myself into? Because the next week you started getting workouts at 4 a.m.
Yep.
I programmed the workout in a system called True Coach. It sends you an email at 4 a.m., I think ish. And then you can click on the link or you can go on the app. And then there it is, movement by movement with video walkthroughs for each thing. I tell you how many sets and how many reps, and you're like, okay, I guess this is what I'm doing. Can you tell me about that first week? Like, you were sore and you did not like me.
I did. First of all, I need to say, I really like the app because of the video walkthroughs and stuff. And it was really cool because even though, like, I don't have somebody watching me over my shoulder to hit, yes, I completed this workout, like, it puts a sense of responsibility on you. And then that also kind of motivated you. Plus, I get really awkward if someone's watching me do my workouts. So I'm just like, okay, I have a video walkthrough. I'm a little shy about everything, but, like, I got this. Cool. The thing I like about my gym is, like, if you're doing something a little off, your form's off, somebody will come up to you sometimes, not all the time, and say, hey, I had someone come up to me and say, your form was, like, spot on when you first started, but you're kind of, like, veering off a little bit. And I was like, thank you. I was like, that's exactly what I want to hear. I was like, because I don't want to mess up or anything like that. And I want to actually activate my muscles when I'm working out. That's another reason why I kept going to the gym, because it's a motivating space for you. People encourage each other there. They're like, hey, like I said, you're kind of veering off a little bit. You're doing great. And now, like, it just kind of helps hold you accountable to what you're doing. But, like, I really enjoyed the app. After that first week of workouts and stuff, I enjoyed them, like, so much. But it hurt so bad. I was so sore. And it was like after the first day, I was like, do I really have to go back to the gym tomorrow? And I was like, I had to tell myself, am I this serious about it? Not only did I have to go through that, but I was like, my brother literally took out the time to write these workouts for me. And like, because you also, one thing that you do, you comment on my workouts after I complete them. You'll do like a little GIF or whatever they're called, and you're just like, boom, congratulations. I'm happy that you completed this. That's awesome.
My favorite GIF for you is the Supermom GIF. It says Supermom, and it's got like Wonder Woman like flying through the air or whatever. That's my first favorite. And then for you too, sometimes you say stuff that's just like totally crushed that shit, like, or something like that. Which is funny because the little girl I grew up with had the not potty mouthest thing. I don't know, that was dumb grammar. But the point is, I don't know you to be much of a sailor curse wise, but man, in your workouts, you're like, this is the voice in my head. Like I crushed that. So my other favorite gift for you is like a nuclear bomb. That's like, just blew that workout out of the.
Crushed it.
Exactly.
I told myself, I was just like, he took the time out to do this. I'm going to do it.
Did it matter to you that you knew I was going to see your notes and your completion and then I pay attention to each one of those things?
Yeah. I was worried that you would be too busy. Like if I commented back or something, like he might not see it or whatever, but you literally take the time, you read my comment and you comment back. Or sometimes you'll call me. Or there was the as many reps as possible workout that you have me do sometimes. I literally FaceTimed you because I got to round 5 in 30 minutes.
I remember that.
I get that excited.
It was like really early in the morning. I'm like, nobody else calls people at this time, but she knows I'm up. I know she's up. You're like FaceTiming me. Guess what? Like in the parking lot of Planet.
My face beat red. I'm super sweaty. And you're like,
trash,
what?
Dude. You look much cuter now. You were like, you had the full workout garb. Your hair was everywhere. Awesome. I think there was sweat dripping off your nose. So one thing I do want to kind of center on here, you got in shape at Planet Fitness. I've been around fitness circles for a long time. That place is a laughing stock for a number of reasons, Tootsie Rolls and pizza notwithstanding. You made it work in a place where hardcore fitness people like me are like, Planet Fitness? You did it, first of all. I don't know if the purple's motivating to you or not. Maybe it's the color scheme. But one of the things I did want to know, how have you avoided the lunk alarm? Because I have a lot of guys my age who have gone to Planet Fitness and done like deadlifts or high box jumps. And it's like, they're not even trying to be annoying, but it's like, hey, you're working out too hard. Lunk alarm goes off. Is it because you're a cute girl? Is it because you're just respectful? Or is it the gym management?
Cute. I don't know.
How have you avoided the lunk alarm?
Honestly, I don't know. I know I don't slam my weights around, so maybe that's why all the time that I've been at the gym, I've never seen anybody activate it.
Oh.
Yeah, and there are some people who do slam their weights, and I've never seen it go off. So I don't know if it's just workers that will hit a button or something, or if like it's sensitive, like a sensor activity. I don't know.
Must have a cool gym manager. Probably
I actually do. She's great. She actually complimented my tan yesterday morning. She's like, "Are you tanning?" I was like, "Yes, ma'am, I am." But like, that's another thing, like that the workers, they know me. Sometimes I'll buy a pre-workout and they literally make fun of me, but like in a good way, that I know like the exact change to it. So I'll bring cash, give them the exact change and go on. I ended up bringing Kyle, my husband, to the gym. Out of the 7 months that I've been going, 7 or 8 months, I can't remember, I brought him, I think it was like 3 or 4 days ago. And out of that whole time, he's not seen me work out. I brought my exact change. I got made fun of. They're like, yeah, she knows the exact change. And then I literally impressed him with what I could do. I squatted 120 pounds and he got a little self-conscious because I did more than him, but like he hadn't worked out and stuff like in forever. And then like my single leg presses, that's when I did 135 each leg. And then he was impressed with that. And with my other workouts, he got more and more impressed. And he's like, I guess I don't have to be worried about you going out alone anymore. Like he's walking my car by myself. He's like, I'm not there to protect you. And so, like,
you're like, I will kick them in the face much harder than you at this point.
Yes. He was a little self-conscious that he couldn't keep up with what I was doing. He ended up not completing workouts because he has scoliosis or whatever, that curve in your back. So he didn't complete some workouts, but he enjoyed watching me be strong. He's like, I am so proud of you. And it got to the point where he was actually saying I should get into fitness and stuff and kind of follow in your footsteps. He's like, you enjoy it. He's like, probably more than your brother does, which is crazy. He's like, instead, like if you don't make the police force and stuff, he's like, you should go into fitness, which is my actual backup plan. Because I have this will be my second attempt at the police force and stuff. If I don't end up making it, because there's the physical test and the written assessment, if I don't pass completely. I think I actually might go into physical fitness because I have that drive and that passion, and I don't know. I think that's cool.
That is really cool. I did want to talk about what's next for you. It sounds to me like you're going to dive there without me. So that's good. You win. High five. The last thing I wanted to talk about with regard to program before we talk about your next steps was going to be around lifestyle wise. So we've spoken a bit about nutrition. The sugar piece was really important for you. I know for you, cooking at home and getting everybody on board at home with eating the food at home rather than going out or ordering something and bringing it and all that stuff was a big piece for you. Exercising every day through getting your workouts. We program the weights, we program the cardio, we program the rest days. Like every single day, you know what it is that you need to do to stay on course. What about the lifestyle aspect? So I coach people on things like meditation, dry sauna, sleeping, steps, a bunch of different things that you don't think of as like gym time, you know, and it's not necessarily related to food, but these things are a big portion of self-care. And you have a 2-year-old, which means that self-care is a very precious thing. And if it doesn't happen before he wakes up, it probably won't happen much. What would you say, if anything, you've changed about your lifestyle to help you with these results? We talked about the activity piece. I'm curious if there's anything else.
My sleep goal definitely has changed because I was staying up to like 11:30 at night. My bedtime is now 8:30, and I'm usually super exhausted by like 7, but I want to get at least 7 to 8 hours of sleep. I'm trying to aim for a little bit more than 8, but getting that rest and letting my body recuperate is good. I don't know if you do the Epsom salt baths, but that is amazing. It helps my muscles kind of like relax. I know I've incorporated and that for me is some definite self-care, taking a bath every once in a while.
Sure.
And then adding some Epsom salt into it because they even have one that foams up kind of like bubbles.
Mm-hmm. I'm
just like, heck yes, I'm in heaven. Woo.
We do that maybe once every week or 2 in our house, so I get it.
Yeah. It's a great. As far as like my other like routines, I know Aaron definitely like helps push me, and then I actually kind of like nanny right now. Before my PT test, I'm a nanny. So like I'm also the 1-year-old that I watch. He's just now starting walking. So I'm chasing after 2 kids, and then both my kid and the kid I watch, they love to dance. We'll have dance parties. We'll have like 2 or 3 dance parties in the time that I watch this kid.
Operationally here, we do this with YouTube. We do Just Dance Kids.
Oh.
And YouTube has like What Does the Fox Say and Gangnam Style and all kinds of like that's how we roll in our house. How do you guys roll your dance parties?
We just turn on some like pop music or whatever. We do the iHeartRadio. Or Aaron has a couple, that Justin Timberlake song.
Yeah.
Can't Styling or something like that.
Yeah.
But I like, it's hilarious because he watches because I mean, I know mom says this a lot, but like Justin Timberlake kind of looks like you. Let's be honest.
I'm a little better looking. I'm just kidding.
You guys resemble each other quite well. And so mom, this is like one of Aaron's favorite songs right now, along with a song called Woke Up Late. I don't know if you've heard of that, but he'll turn on those 2 songs and want to dance to him. And mom even asked him, and she's just like, do you like this video because Justin Timberlake looks like Alex, Uncle Alex? And Aaron shakes his head yes. I don't know if that's just he's shaking his head yes, but let's just know that he misses you, okay?
I noted. We have to get together soon, which brings me to the last thing I wanted to talk about before giving you the last word, which is I had a really cool experience recently where you visited and we got up together and we worked out in my garage gym / driveway. Kettlebells, dumbbells, and I actually have clients, believe it or not, I have clients who will come from different places or they're passing through Arkansas for whatever reason and they stop by and we work out together. It's a good time. I actually had one of my all-time favorite clients. You rank up there because you're my sister, but she's worked with me for a long time, pushing my car up the driveway with me recently. Our neighbors thought we were crazy, but she's like, I saw this on your social media. When I'm there, I really want to push this
nice.
Car and see how. So 63-year-old woman crushing it. Shout out, Katie. You're awesome. We love you. So anyway, driveway workout, I got to share this with you. And it was super cool for two reasons. One, I have a lot of respect for the moms that I train because you guys incorporate your kids way better than us dads do. Like, we'll do cool dad things like throw you in the pool or swing you around or wrestle in the floor, but you will literally do a workout with your kid crawling on you, and you'll still do the workout justice. And I can't do that. I'm like, go away. Like,
hey, that's I want to say that, but I'm just like, he gets on my back while I do push-ups, so be it. He's only 26 pounds or something like that. I'm like, I got this.
Well, and so I sound really mean. It's not like, go away, I don't want you around. It's like, I don't want to drop a dumbbell on your head, like you're doing like a dumbbell snatch or something, and like toddles by and 40 pounds will just end their happy day like nothing else. So, but they're really good for like weighted squats. I think you and I threw Aaron a little bit while we were working out. But anyway, the first thing I wanted to say is it was super cool to share that with you because, believe it or not, I have not worked out with a member of our family that I wasn't like actively training. I got to work out with Jordan a little bit. He's our younger brother. I used to work out with Amber in ages past. She's your older sister, my younger sister, but I haven't gotten to work out with a member of our family since adulthood and kids ever. So that was cool to share. So thank you. And then the second thing I just thought was crazy, and shout out to the ladies who are listening, when you can work out with your kids and you can incorporate them in a way that's fun and whatnot, I just think you deserve some kind of medal, like some kind of prize, like there's nothing cooler than when you look at your kid and they're trying to mimic you. Like they're trying to deadlift a kettlebell, or they're trying to do their push-ups, or they're doing little squats and jumps or whatever. And like, just the spirit of defining, like that is defining dad bod or mom bod, since you're on here. Like that is the whole idea. Like, I do this so that you see me do this and you'll start doing this too, and it'll be good for you, because we're just a family who works out. So I just wanted to say hats off to you. Well done. It was super cool to see that and super cool to share that with you. And I hope you'll join me in randomly videoing fun exercises to do with your kid.
That would be fun.
That kind of stuff needs to float around in the world more often.
And when our kids copy us like that too, it's a whole new perspective on, they literally watch everything you do. So yeah, sure, they copy our exercises, but they're also going to kind of copy what we eat. So that's a whole new like mental thing. You're just like, when you reach for a snack, because sometimes we like to snack, and you start to go towards something like probably wouldn't help you, you're like, you kind of look at your kid because they're standing there watching you, and you're like, we gonna have like an apple or banana or snack on some grapes and cheese or something like that. Or I know sometimes your son Gabriel will have some raisins with like a spoonful of peanut butter. It's just like that kind of stuff. You're just, every move you make, they are watching. So that puts in your head, I got to make the better choice for them and for myself.
Yeah. As parents, there's always the constant sense that like you're shaping them. And a lot of people think of that in terms of their actions and discipline and rules they'd like to teach in the house and stuff. But it's literally everything. Whether or not you have a bedtime and they have a bedtime is something that they're going to carry with them for a very long time. It's going to shape their circadian rhythm. It's going to shape the way they act about bed and all that stuff. The same thing with the food that you eat. If you're constantly eating out and they're not used to cooking at home, then that's just going to be normal. Regardless of what you order when you're out, it's just going to be normal not to go grocery shopping and not to cook food at home. The same thing goes for exercise.
Yeah.
Mom works out in the morning before I wake up, so I don't see that. But when she goes for walks and runs and does her yoga and foam rolling or whatever it is, she's in the living room floor with me, and we do dance parties together. So that's just normal for your son, which is super cool. So I wanted to say to parents listening, especially moms and dads, they're watching you. And I hope that you're doing the things that you know to be best for you, so that it passes on well to them. Do you have anything that you want to leave everybody with after sharing your story with us, losing between 55 and 60 pounds? We're not even sure yet. We're just going to keep growing guns. When is your police force test?
September 14th.
September 14th. All right. We'll be cheering you on.
Thank you.
And would love to be able to tell everybody how that went. So September 14th. But do you want to leave everybody with anything? If they didn't take anything else away from you today, what do you hope they hear from your journey and your story?
That if whether like it's in the beginning of your workout, like if you're just starting to work out, or sometimes it's like later on, you start to get like, oh, I don't want to do this anymore. I think we go through those rough periods of time where it's just like, you got to push through it because it gets easier. I know the stuff that I started out with, I can do no problem now. I don't get as out of breath because like when I had said that as many reps as possible workout, like I finished round 1 and I just started round 2 and I couldn't go no further.
After 20 minutes.
I could round 5. So like when you're just starting working out, like your body's going to have to get used to it. Or if you're in the middle of like further down the line working out and you're doing harder stuff, it will get easier, and to just push forward. Because I don't know how it is for you, Alex, but the gym is my safe space. It is my time to think, time to focus, time to grow. And I honestly hope that everybody else can kind of feel that way, that they go to their safe space and that they enjoy it. Because a lot of people, like when I first started working out, view it as, I don't want to do this. No, I can't. It's a lot of mental strength to keep pushing forward and to know that like y'all are not alone. We all go through this stuff, and although it's hard, like if you push through, like you got this, it gets easier.
That's a really powerful thing to point out. I don't want to add a whole lot to what you said, but I was thinking as you were talking that I saw this happen with a client of mine that I started working with. She's been with me for about 3 months. She's seen great results. We're down 22 pounds in 3 months without doing anything like stupid crazy. It's not like she's not eating or she's, cut out an entire food group or anything. So this is sustainable, and she's really happy with the results, but she's really hard on herself. Like her comments and stuff, and sometimes the things that she texts, there's a lot of negativity. She's dealt with anxiety. She's dealt with depression. I mean, you're a mom, you know how it goes. Sometimes you're alone in the world, even if you're married. Like, no offense to your spouse, it's just you're kind of, alone. And there was a shift this past weekend. She sent me her run results, and she said, I'm not quoting her exactly, and I don't want anybody to know who she is. This is her transformation. But instead of like being like, oh, this run was hard, I just pushed through it and made it happen, or I was so annoyed with my time the whole time, or I used to be faster than this. Like, those are the things she used to say. And now this one message, it was the flip. This was very difficult, but, and this is the big but, this is better than the Instagram butts. She said, but in my last 3 intervals, I was thankful to myself that I didn't stop. And I started telling myself that I'm a lot stronger than I used to be. Mm-hmm. And she said she finished her run and she was surprised because her GPS, I guess she started it too early. So when she actually looked at her time, she was 5 minutes faster than she thought she was on her interval run. And she was like, normally during the run, I would have been like, I'm so slow. What's wrong with me? But she goes, I just kept looking at the time. I was like, whatever. And I'm just going to do like, this is good. I'm out here doing what it is I'm supposed to do. There's all kinds of reason that I could be out here not doing it. And so what you just described was that transformation when you voluntarily go to the gym, and it sucks and it's hard, but you put yourself through it anyway. You go through the motions as if you're going to be enjoying it at some point. And then some point you wake up one morning and you're like, I'm excited to go. And you look in the mirror and you go, good job. You rock. Like, you high five, you're like, bam. Like, I don't know when it happens or how it happens, but that happens inside of you. And no coach can do that. Nobody else can do it for you, but you're describing that process. Stick with it. Gets easier. Not only does it get easier, something changes in the way you think about yourself. And it's been my experience that exercise does that in a way that nothing else can. So thanks for joining me on that journey. And it sounds to me like you feel that way too.
Oh yeah.
Cool. I love you, kid. You're pretty awesome. You know that?
I love you too. You're not to, say anything, but like, you're kind of awesomer. So
yeah, don't reflect on me. I didn't lose 60 pounds.
You've been kicking butt and taking names for I don't know how long. You've truly been an inspiration to me. And I know to the family too, but like especially to me. I've always looked up to you.
Well, thanks. Well, this is your opportunity then to tell everybody to kick butt and take names. I'll let you close. I don't let people do that, but I'll let you close on my show. Go ahead.
I'll close.
My close is kick butt, take names. You can steal it. It's fine.
All right, everybody, keep on keeping on and kick butt and take names.
The free practical advice and conversations here remain unbought and unbiased thanks to the support of listeners just like you. For more information on how you can become a part of the inner circle of Defining Dad Bod, go to definingdadbod.com/inner circle.